Hey guys, it's Victoria and welcome back to FemmeHead. So I obviously talk about fem in the context of natural birth control a lot and all the benefits I see of it as a birth control method. And I feel like I do touch on the benefits separate from it being a natural birth control method. But today I'm going to talk about using practicing fem and charting when you're a single person. And I highly recommend it as a skill that every person should have because it is so beneficial in so many different ways. Because there are plenty of great reasons out there for not needing fem as a birth control method, but still wanting to practice it and reap the benefits of it nevertheless. So maybe you're waiting till marriage or you're not ready to have sex yet. Maybe you are currently single or just not in a relationship. Maybe you are not in a relationship with someone of the opposite sex, because newsflash, not all women date men and vice versa, and that is awesome. Maybe you use another non-hormonal option such as a buried method, such as condoms, and so you don't necessarily need to rely on fem as your main birth control method, but maybe you're curious about learning more about it or using it for one of its other benefits. So I learned about and practiced the sympto-thermal method for about 4 months before I met my current bae and husband Michael. So while I don't have like a ton of experience and like years and years of charting while single, I still feel like I can share the benefits that I discovered that are unrelated to natural birth control. So the first thing that I'm just gonna get out of the way, one of the benefits is using it as a future birth control method. So maybe you have not had sex yet, maybe you're waiting till marriage, maybe you're not in a relationship. There are plenty of reasons to not need it now, but want to use it down the road, and like having that skill in your pocket is so beneficial, and I just wanted to get that one out of the way. So the most amazing thing about charting is it allows you to learn about your cycle, to learn about your unique cycle, when to expect your period, and amazing things like that. For me, it was the little things about charting that amazed me and made me so happy. When I realized I could pinpoint when my period coming, that was just such like a refreshing, empowering thing, because I had just been guessing for years of like, I think it's gonna come around here, and you just ruin so many underwear. And so to know it's coming and to make sure you have all your stuff you need, it's such a beautiful thing. And along those lines, another big benefit for me early on was learning to expect different things at certain points in your cycle. So like cramps, insomnia, irritability, like PMS things, and just knowing that things happen at a particular spot and you can like expect it and you can predict it, it makes it so much easier. And understanding like why I was cramping, why I was feeling a certain way was a very freeing thing. So learning that I cramp around ovulation and usually the first day of my period, love it. And the same goes with like feeling irritable leading up to my period. I just know there's a chance it could happen, and I recognize when I'm being grouchy. I just handle it so much better knowing this is what's happening and this is why it's happening. You might discover that you actually have a hormonal imbalance. I have discovered that traveling, and especially international travel, can sometimes throw my cycle out of whack, and I can develop a progesterone deficiency, which messes with my luteal phases, causes more premenstrual spotting. And this has happened to me twice now, but I have recognized that it was happening because I was charting, and I have discovered a non-invasive natural supplement that clears it right up and fixes the problem. And that is such like a empowering thing to know, like I have that sort of control over my body and over my cycle. And I don't think I would have recognized that something was off, because without charting, like I just did not pay any attention to my cycle, to my period, other than like when my period showed up. If you feel like your cycle is irregular, charting is a great way to see whether it is actually irregular and why it might be irregular. It's okay for your cycle to fluctuate a few days, month to month. There's nothing wrong with that. By charting, you can see if you're ovulating, which is such a crucial component to having a menstrual cycle. So you can see when you're ovulating, whether you ovulate late or early, or whether you're not ovulating at all, and that's very important. By charting, I have discovered that I have 4 distinct phases. You do too. So you have your menstrual phase, your follicular phase, ovulatory phase, and luteal phase, and you have strengths and weaknesses in each of these phases, which is a great thing that you can use to your benefit. Taking it slower during your period gives you renewed energy throughout the rest of your cycle. You can schedule your social activities such as like business meetings, networking, interviews, presentations during your ovulatory phase. I am so much more of an outgoing, bubbly social person around ovulation, and I'm much more like secluded and like within myself during my period, recognizing that I am different at different points and that is okay, and that I can do things to make the most out of those strengths during that particular phase is a great thing. By charting your cycle and charting beyond just your temperature and fluid, you can see what sort of things impact your cycle in a positive or negative way, and then you can alter and do more of the positive things and less of the negative things. The amount of sleep can affect your cycle. Stress, travel, diet, lifestyle, exercise. There are so many things that it can impact your cycle and tweak it in a particular way, and just learning these are the things that impact my cycle in a good way, and these are things that I need to address because they are negatively impacting my cycle. This is a random, like, kind of weird hippie thing, but you can learn how you sync up with the moon, with the lunar cycle. So, do you bleed with the new moon or the full moon? I enjoy learning about these sort of things, and it said that depending on which one you sync up with, said something about where you are in life and like your personality and that sort of stuff. If you have your period with the new moon, that is called a white moon cycle, and that means you are more nurturing and motherly. If you bleed with the full moon, that is called a red moon cycle, and that means you are very creative and you're at a point in life where you're focusing on nurturing yourself and kind of your path of where you're going in life, and that you might not be in a position to where like you're meant to be a mother at that point, and you can switch between the two different cycles. And I don't know, it's just one of those weird, unique things that I found really fascinating, but it's up to you whether you want to like go to that level or not. You can finally feel in tune and in sync with your body. Learning how to chart definitely gave me a newfound appreciation of my body and what it was capable of. Charting allowed me to stop being so annoyed by my body and like what it didn't look like and what it didn't do. I stopped mentally like picking at my flaws, and instead I was just like in awe of what my body did every single month without me having to even bat an eyelash. Charting and FAM is a great foundation to continue your education about your body and what's going on inside of it and what that means. For me, my journey began with nutrition, and that led me to getting off the pill. And I've been encouraged and inspired ever since to continue educating myself about like what's going on inside of me, and not just like my menstrual cycle, like other aspects of my body and mind. And I feel like I've learned so much, and it has just benefited me unbelievably. One of the most surprising things for me as I began to learn how to chart was like I was never good, or I never felt like I was good at science in school, and so that kind of discourages you from learning about stuff because you're like, oh, science isn't my subject. But like, you don't need a medical degree to learn about what's going on in your body. Your menstrual cycle and charting is not rocket science, and I truly believe like if you have the desire to learn about it, you are capable of learning about it. And finally, having this knowledge really empowers you to become your own advocate when it comes to health and other things related to like your body and your mind. Because you are in tune with your body and you know what's going on, you can recognize when something is off, and you can push to get the help or the treatment that you need. I always think of like PCOS and endometriosis when I'm talking about this, because it takes women so long to get diagnosed with both of these, because what we experience, people with menstrual cycles, just gets written off as like, oh, that's just part of having a period, or that's just part of being female, like deal with it. Recognizing what's the norm for you allows you to go in and say, this is what's changed, this is what I'm experiencing, like I know it's not normal, I know it's not a good thing, help me fix it. So I know there's probably so many other benefits that I have completely spaced today about FAM that aren't related to it as birth control, but this is just the list that's come to mind. So if you are single and you chart your cycle, I would love to know what are the biggest benefits for you. That's what I have to say today about charting and FAM when single. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to FemmeHead for more of me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!